Hello everyone, my name is Elizabeth Omotolani Olufa, also known as Lizmo. I'm so excited today. Wow, it's so beautiful in here. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel and other social media platforms, please do so. I need you to encourage, support, and promote what I'm doing. And I have some of my songs on YouTube, my videos, and I would like you to watch them. I would like you to stream them and be blessed. And if you have not done that, I want you to do that. If you have not followed me, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please, I'd like you to do that right now. On today's episode, I'll be talking about worship as a lifestyle. Worship as a lifestyle. Growing up, worship seemed to be a section of a church service, and we have to do that. We know that. And of course, in our homes, home fellowship, where we wake up in the morning, early in the morning. And, we have all that. But growing up as a worshiper, I realized that that is not exactly what worship means. I've come to discover what it is as I begin to grow up. I'll share my story. I grew up as a little girl in church, and music has been everything all the way. Then, of course, I studied music. I graduated. So along the line, there was a time I felt because I am talented, I'm worshiping. And that has been the thing. Of course, I've been singing for a long time. That is what everybody knows about me. And, but there was a day I was singing and I heard a talk in my spirit that I wasn't worshiping. I was like, wait. Am I hearing correctly? I'm not worshiping. How? What does that mean? And the Spirit of God began to talk to me about what I don't do. Because I know I am talented. Of course, everybody used to, hail me. Oh, Lizmo. Okay, Liz, you say, well, you are an amazing, but I think I wasn't a worshiper. And I paused and I was like, so what am I doing wrong? So what I can remember, I just feel I am good. I just come to church and, we scatter everywhere. And so that thought of your lips is singing and your heart is not connected to God came to my mind. And I felt, I've been doing everything professionally. So what that means is that I do not have an altar. Yes, I pray and I do all that, but there is supposed to be worship as a lifestyle. So God showed to me that I am not supposed to just come and let it be about church. Do I have my own lifestyle? And that brings me to what worship is. Worship is a total surrender to God, a total reference to God, a life of faith, surrendering everything to Him. That is what I began to learn as I grow older. And so worship for me is not just coming to sing. Yes, we are good. We have the gift, we have the talent, and we do all that. But that is not enough. I'm not saying that is not worship, but what I'm saying rather is that is not enough. So we'll be talking a lot about it, and I would like you to share your own experiences as well. Whatever you have discovered along the way as a worshiper, whether you do it professionally or you just do it for the love of it. I mean, we can always learn from each other. So, like I said, worship is total reference to God. And I began to understand that after I started doing that, I noticed that my worship experience changed. When I had to worship God, then I don't worship God on my own. I have to wait till I get to church and depend on where we need to have the musician, somebody playing the keyboard. And yes, we now start doing, I feel the spirit. But that was not it. I mean, God had to take time, because I know there is a call of God upon my life. He has raised me to be a psalmist, to be a carrier of His presence. So, and probably then I wasn't on the right track. And so that's why I'm sharing my own story. And I believe it might be useful for someone out there. You feel you're talented, you're gifted. When you sing, everybody is. It's not about people. What about our lifestyle? How do you reference God? Do you even know God? Do you even understand being in His presence? Do you even know what it is to give your totality to God? Not just your money, everything. So I'll be talking a lot about that, and I have some things jotted in here, and I would like us to talk about. Now, the book of Romans chapter 12 verse 1 emphasizes that believers are to present themselves as living sacrifices, holy and acceptable unto God, which is regarded as an act of worship. That is an act of worship, completely surrendering ourselves. When you talk about sacrifice, that means the things that are not easy to give. We all know about sacrifices. Looking in the Bible, when Abraham had to sacrifice Isaac, it wasn't an easy thing. I mean, it was a big deal. Yet he decided to sacrifice Isaac because God wanted it. That is worship. Abraham said that we will go and worship. He took Isaac and said, let us go and worship. So that is an act of worship. So worship for me is surrendering yourself. And that was when I had a shift in my mind, and I started trying to surrender my life to God. I didn't know how to do it, but I think God was teaching me all the way. So I was able to create a place where I do worship on my own. When nobody is watching, when I do not have the stage, when there are no musicians around, when there is nobody to encourage me. So that brings me to coming to understand how much I have to surrender my life to God, how much I have to give in to what God has said. And also, I would like to talk about faith. Faith is an act of worship. The Bible says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I mean, I've heard about story of people that they still gave it everything, even though they're going through a lot of stuffs. They were still open in God, even when you don't even know what it is. So worship goes beyond singing. It is not about singing alone. It is way beyond singing. It is a life of total surrender, where you give everything all of that. God, I don't have anybody else. It's just about you. And that also talks about you having faith in God. You believe in God, even when you cannot see it. You've heard so many things. That's why when you hear some songs, and when you hear some songs are coming from a deeper revelation or a deeper realm, because it's coming from an outburst or from a place of staying with God and believing God for something. And once that thing happens, or before that thing happens, songs will come out. When you hear those songs, you can feel it, that these songs are not just songs coming from I'm a professional, or I just want to sing, or no, they're coming from a place of depth, because there is a level of faith that has been displayed. So I would like you to know that you are applying your faith and believing God is an act of worship. So you can see that I didn't even talk about song. Song is the least of your worship. You know, I started following how God was leading me, and I realized that my now coming to display my worship as a worship leader had changed. You know, I now carry more of God's presence. I noticed that everything changed. Unlike when I just thought about the fact that, I'm a professional singer, I'm a trained singer, I can do it. Yes, of course I'm doing it, but is it pleasing to God? Is it coming as a lifestyle? Like, is it coming as a sacrifice? holy and acceptable unto God. The Bible told us that those that must worship God in spirit and in truth. So then, even if I don't pray, I still sing. I mean, I've been doing this for many years. So it got to that time there was a break. So that was why I was able to realize that there is a difference between what I've been doing and what I am doing now. So God had to tell me, as in I heard it clearly, like a friend was talking to me that, Liz, you have not been worshiping me. You are just shouting. That was what I even heard. I was like, hey. So I started doing everything. I started creating a prayer altar, It wasn't easy because I wasn't used to that. Yes, I pray, but, there's a level of prayer and there's a level of prayer. When you pray, you know that you have prayed, creating an atmosphere. Creating a very, 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 very deep atmosphere that you don't have to sing plenty songs as a worship leader now. You don't have to sing thousands of songs before you can, which song is no. Like God keeps telling me that you are not there to, what's the word he said now, that don't follow other people. Like I'm not just there, I don't want to gyrate, I don't want to say, what song is raining now? Let me sing it so that people can know. It's about me bringing myself as a sacrifice. And God, I'm about to minister to your people. What do you want me to do? It got to a point that I realized that I have to do that. What song do you want to hear? Like that song, let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. So that means there are some songs that are not sweet to God. So singing to God is us bringing ourselves as a sacrifice. That is my focal point. That is my main point. Bringing myself as a sacrifice. Waiting to hear what he has to say to me. I mean, I don't sing some songs because I feel anytime I do that, I notice what happens at those points. I don't feel the way I feel when I'm open to what God is saying. Liz, I want you to sing this song. And I've noticed it a lot that God dwells in our praises. So as a worship leader or a worshiper, you must also give God what he wants. You can't just keep doing your own, what is raining now? I mean, a lot of us do that. Which song is raining now? Okay, is this person's song? Everywhere we scatter. Yes. Like I heard a saying sometime that because this person is singing the song and there is so much power in the song, it doesn't mean you will sing it and it will sound the same way. We have seen a lot that people will look at like, are you sure you're singing the same song? Because you do not carry the presence. So carrying the presence of God is another thing that we need to look out for. So I've talked about us being, giving our lives as a sacrifice. When nothing else matters, when you see worshipers and other people, you will know the difference. Those that are entertaining and those that are deeply rooted in worship. They have given everything to God. They have given everything. They are lost. They are not thinking about, I want to make money, I want to do this. They are lost. And I talked about faith, absolute trust in God. Because worship is not just about singing, like I said. It's about you trusting in him. Trusting in God. And also dwelling in his presence. That is the place of your prayer and your own worship to God, where you want to express it with singing. Lying on the floor, rolling on the floor, and connecting and creating an atmosphere. Prayer. Then I don't used to pray. I pray, but I'm not sure I do the kind of prayer I do now. Like praying in the Holy Ghost, creating an atmosphere. I mean, you cannot say, don't mind me if I'm talking more about music ministers, maybe because that's what I do. But you can also apply it to your personal life as a child of God, carrying God's presence, praying, studying the Bible. I read the Bible there, I'll just read it and look at it. No, that is not what it's supposed to be. We're supposed to dwell in his presence. Like I heard the pastor say that some of you just come and sing as a professional and you don't carry power. Yeah, that is also there. Because everything about worship is centered on God. It's not about me. When I get there today, they will take. No. Have you sacrificed yourself? Do you believe in God? Do you have faith in Him? Do you? And how much have you dwelt in His presence? So, singing is just a part of it. It's just a part. It's an expression of your worship. God, because I'm giving my life to you. That's why when they say they are worshiping God, you hear songs of dedication, songs of surrendering, songs that, talks about you giving everything in totality to God. That is worship. And when you talk about faith, believing God, I trust you. God, you are faithful. God, you have been good. And that is your worship. And dwelling in His presence, creating an atmosphere. Of course, the Bible says God inhabits in our praises. When we do that, God will definitely come. It will definitely arise. It will definitely, you will know that God is with you. I don't know about you, but I know when God is with me. And I know when it looks like, although He didn't leave, but there is one feeling that I always have, like I'm kind of dry, like so you cannot do without prayer, you cannot do without the Word of God. It is very, very important. That one cannot be traded with. Trust me. I've been there. I've done that. Even now, there are sometimes, some weeks, I'm like, what? I don't want to be very full confession, but I don't feel good. That's just the truth. I feel like something has left me. I feel, even though we are God, the Bible told us that God is with us 24/7, but I just feel like there's something awkward about me. So worship as a lifestyle is a very, very important thing that we need to talk about. How do you do yourself every day? Before you come to church, yes, we all come to church and say we lift holy hands, but that is not all about it. That is not all about it. We need to have a relationship with God. We need to trust Him. We need to give it all up. That is all about your worship. Worship is sacrificial, even when it is not convenient. Even when it is not convenient. Even when something terrible happened. Yes. Even when God told Abraham, give me Isaac. Do you think it was easy for him? No. But he still decided to give. He was like, this child that I waited for years. Sacrifice. So you can relate that to whatever is happening in our today world. Whatever you're going through, worship is a lifestyle. Worship is sacrificial. Worship is you having faith in God. You're trusting God for something, worship. You're trusting God for anything, worship. Have faith and carry His presence. Dwell in His presence. Pray. Study the Bible. And you just go and try it, and let's come back and talk about this. You'll see what I'm talking about. Thank you very much for watching this video. And we'll be dropping more videos. And I want you to drop your comments. I want us to interact. I want us to create a community of worshipers where we talk about this. I'd like to hear your own experience as well. I've shared my own experience, and I would like to hear your experience. And let's see how we can help ourselves and build ourselves as believers. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Shalom.